Hi, my name is Melissa McDaniel, and I'm here to talk to you today about how to choose a Bible. There are so many different versions out there. Where do you start from? Well, if you went to Amazon.com and you put in Bible, there would be thousands and thousands and thousands of choices. And if you went to a bookstore, there would be hundreds of choices. And if you went to a different bookstore, there would be even more choices than that. So, how do you filter the information and choose a Bible for yourself? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the history, about the process, about how the Bible was compiled and collected, and then we're going to talk about how it was translated and interpreted, and then we're going to talk about how you choose one for yourself today. Well, so let's begin. First of all, you have to know that Christians believe that a divine author inspired scripture to man who wrote it down in scrolls or letters, and then from there it was copied and copied and copied and copied and passed around so that Christians could read the letters. And so eventually those letters were collected into a list called a biblical canon. So what is a biblical canon? Well, a biblical canon is a list of letters, later becoming a collection of letters called the Bible. So the canon of scriptures actually is 66 books or letters that were put into the Bible that we have today. And they were finalized and accepted as a general consensus of Christians by the church council in Laodicea in 393 AD, and the Council of Hippo that same year, and the Council of Carthage in 397 AD. So, unless everyone speaks Hebrew, Greek, or Aramaic, then someone had to translate or interpret what we had then to today's language, which is English. So, it's important for Christians to read the Bible for Christian instruction, so we would have to be able to read it for ourselves. So scholars began translating biblical texts into different languages as soon as Christianity began to spread to new regions. As early as the 5th century, Christian leader Jerome translated the New Testament from Greek to the Latin Vulgate language, and then in 1380, John Wycliffe translated the New Testament from Latin into English, and then in 1526, William Tyndale translated the New Testament from Greek into English. The most important one probably would be in 1604 AD, when King James I commissioned and authorized the first whole Old Testament and New Testament translation of the Bible. Reading the 1600s Old English, however, is very difficult because the English language has changed over the years in meanings, words, style, and adapting to the modern culture. So, of course, we have to translate the Bible more than once. In 100 years from now, my children will have new words and new style, and culture will change, and there may be more understandable versions made for my children and my great-grandchildren and my great-great-grandchildren, and the list continues to grow on because we want to make it understandable for each generation. So the second thing that comes into translating, however, is interpretation. So there's 3 ways that biblical scholars usually choose to translate or interpret the Bible. The first is the formal approach, which is trying to stay word for word with the original text, whether it be Greek, Hebrew, or Aramaic. You have to choose word to word, word for word, how you would translate that. The second option would be the functional approach, which is to try to stay thought for thought along with the sentences that were written originally in pen, trying to stay with the author's thought. The third version is the paraphrase, which is left up to the interpreter in his own words and thoughts to relate an idea from an already up-to-date translation into different words. So, knowing all of this, the history of the Bible, how it was collected, how it was put together, and why we have so many different choices, now you can start trying to choose a Bible. So what are the criteria for trying to choose a Bible? Well, first you want to find a translation in the language that you speak. You want to Choose which style of translation based on your convictions and preferences, whether you want a formal approach, the functional approach, or a paraphrase Bible. Do you want extras? Do you want study Bible, maps, notes, references? Do you want other things other than just the original text? Do you want a paperback, hardcover, leather, or imitation leather? And if you choose leather or imitation leather, do you want a design on it, a certain color, your name inscribed on it? How much money do you want to spend? These are all choices that you have to make before you begin looking for a Bible. So what do I recommend? Research it online. Browse a few bookstores. Even ask others to look at their Bible so you can skim through and look and see what kind of criteria you think you want to meet. The main reason to have a Bible is for Christian instruction and application of what is learned from it. I hope by learning the history of the Bible, how it was conceived, canonized, and translated, you can find the right Bible for you.